Hello everyone, it's MK here, welcome back to a commentary video. And in today's episode of What the Hell Am I Looking At? We're going to be explaining and we're going to be watching 7 YouTube shorts on conspiracy theories that is going to make me lose my mind. God help me.
Kraken is real and there is proof. Of all the legendary sea creatures that was said to attack ships, this one is the closest to being proved true. In July 2012, scientists filmed a giant sea creature that was 55 meters long and 2,000 feet below the ocean surface. The creature looked like a giant squid, but was said to only be a baby version of what it could be. In May 2022, a massive sea creature washed up on a shore in Australia. This enormous creature looked just like an octopus.
Alright, let's get the elephant out of the way. The Kraken is a mythical creature that has been told multiple times over and over again since the dawn of time at this rate. It's not a real thing. Even though 5% of the ocean has been explored, that is not a real thing. And by the way, the thing you were talking about, that something was landed in shore, like a tall octopus thing, that was part of a Stranger Things set. That was kind of obvious from the start. There was, people in hazmat suits that you can explain, and just looking in the comment section just gave me my answer anyway. I didn't really have to do any research about this. That just gave me my answer. And by the way, it was not 55 meters long. It was a juvenile giant squid. That's what it was. It was not 55 meters long. It was actually 5 meters. I'm guessing it was juvenile. It was in the Twilight Zone. That's the first time it was spotted in American soil. It's not saying it was the first time. Like the first clip, that was a juvenile giant squid. It was the first time or the second time, whatever, that it was spotted in American soil. It's been spotted any other place, just not Americans. I don't even know where you got the information that it was a Kraken. What the absolute shit.
If the Earth is flat, how do you explain time zones?
So if it's a close sun, it would be kind of like a spotlight. The time zones work because that local light, just kind of like a flashlight, doesn't light up the whole circle. It only lights up a certain part of the circle.
Alright, what about gravity? What about atmosphere? What about literally anything else that people have already explained? Gravity, atmosphere, how does that exist if it's flat Earth? Hey, question. How are we not in the middle of the flat Earth? Like, how are we not in the middle of it? Not like the sides. And another question here is, if that is the case, how come we don't fall off or just see what the end of the flat Earth is, if that's the case?
I'm curious what the explanation is for gravity and things like the Coriolis effect.
Well, gravity's still technically a theory. We know that there's an up and a down. As far as Coriolis, I was in the military and I've shot weapons, and we were never once taught to account for Coriolis.
What kind of weapons, if you don't mind me asking? Like ICBMs?
Well, when I was in the military, we shot M16s.
I feel like I'm losing my brain cells. I feel like I'm losing brain cells right now. Don't you guys think we're losing brain cells just listening to her talk? And first of all, don't pull me with that M16 bull. I tell you that much. It's an M4 carbine. Maybe it's an M16 depending on where you at, but I think it's already discontinued. I think they changed it, so you can't put me up with that bull. Secondly, gravity is not a theory. It's been proven by multiple people that have studied it. What in the absolute shit you've been on about? How do you think particle accelerators work? How do you think that? How do you even think particles work and function? How do you think atoms live? Jesus. Well, no, it's not proof that vampires exist, and I don't think any vampires really exist today anyways, because back in the 1800s, and back then, even then, there was a lot of discussion going on about suspicions that vampires did exist, so that's why they had tools, stuff like that, and that cage is to make sure that if there was a vampire, that they wouldn't be able to escape either way, because people were paranoid back then that vampires really did exist. I mean, multiple people died because of it back in the 16th century, so it's not really proof that it exists, it's more just proof that people were paranoid.
Hey, did you know that giants actually existed?
Alright, well I can't show more of that, because if I do, I'll probably get copyrighted, because I have no idea if that song is copyrighted or not. But more or less, what he's trying to say in this video is he's referencing a part of the Bible, which, by the way, I am religious, and I'll tell you this much. Don't quote religious content. That's not scientific fact. That's just a normal thing to know when you're trying to do something like this. Do not quote religious stuff. Do not. That's the last thing you want to do when you're doing a conspiracy like this. Don't do that. It's not going to help out a lot when you're trying to ask or just basically tell people that giants existed. And even if they did, they could barely breathe because of their lungs, their lung capacity, and how big they would be today. I mean, like, the only reason why there was big things back in the day was mainly because of the insects, and insects could breathe a lot better because 30% it's 30% higher back in the day than it is today. So mainly insects got bigger, not mammals like us.
Did Plato leave us clues to the location of the lost civilization of Atlantis? In the Timaeus and Critias, we find Plato's writings about this mysterious civilization, with extensive descriptions of its people, a war between the Athenian and Atlantean people, and a cataclysmic event that caused the civilization to sink into the sea, completely disappearing around 11,600 years ago. Plato recounts the story after hearing it from his grandfather, who heard it passed down by the Athenian statesman Solon some 300 years prior. Solon says he learned about the story of Atlantis from the ancient Egyptian temple priests of Sais. Plato also left behind details of where the city of Atlantis existed, describing it as a large island landmass just west of the Straits of Gibraltar. This appears to strongly suggest its location could have been the Azores Islands. The Azores are located at the convergence of 3 tectonic plates on the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, which is a highly active geologic area with a history of ancient catastrophes. What kind of geologic catastrophe could have destroyed this mysterious civilization?
You know, if I had a nickel for every time they were talking about a mysterious civilization, I'd have 2. And that's not a lot, but that just is weird in general, just having to talk about it. And so, first of all, the Atlantis story, a mythology. It's kind of obvious. It's the same guy that wrote it. It's a myth. It's just a story told by stories and stories. Now, I can believe that there was a mysterious city behind it that was meant to be added, but then again, the story of Atlantis was like a high-tech superior than we have right now type stuff, and it's just kind of stupid to know about that. We don't obviously know this because it's mythology, just like dragons. I hope. But still, it's probably not high-tech. It was probably just talking about a city that they knew, although it wasn't high-tech, so yeah, probably.
Did Nikola Tesla really know the secret behind the pyramids? According to Tesla, the pyramids were more than just ancient tombs or architectural marvels. He believed that they held a hidden power, a mysterious energy source waiting to be unlocked. Tesla speculated that the pyramids were designed to harness and transmit wireless energy, tapping into the Earth's natural electromagnetic field. In his view, these majestic structures acted as gigantic power plants, capable of transmitting energy across vast distances. Imagine a world where electricity flowed freely, wirelessly, without the need for cumbersome cables or grids. Tesla envisioned a future where the pyramids' technology could be harnessed, revolutionizing the way we power our world. While Tesla's theory remains speculative, it challenges us to think beyond conventional wisdom.
Now, while Tesla's takes on the pyramids are pretty standard for someone like him, I wouldn't believe that most of them are true. I'm gonna be real honest, I feel like half of these stuff you made up. And even if that's the case, it's pretty much Tesla obsessed with the pyramids, and see what they're about, which, same thing with Einstein, his obsession for knowledge. It's basically the same thing with any other thing. So, I can understand where Tesla's coming from, but the thing is, you'd have to make a whole video about it on Tesla's Secret Revealed. This is not a secret, it's just something he was obsessed about. Like, bro, calm down. Anyways, we're gonna wrap up this episode of holy shit, I still have brain cells. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did want to like, subscribe, and if you also want to, you can help me support me on my Cash App and comment. Anyways, bye.